the blame game that's going around and the media desperately claiming that, oh, you should really listen to celebrities. It's been pretty funny because over the past week, ever since we saw the official outcome of the presidential election, we have seen meltdowns in full force across the landscape of the woke entertainment industry, whether we're talking about Hollywood, whether we're talking about musicians, entertainers, all of this stuff. All of them have been freaking out because they thought that there's no possible way, with all of them on board, everybody supporting Kamala, that they would lose to President Donald Trump. But that's exactly what happened. We've gone through a bunch of the meltdowns, but now some people, including the mainstream media, are telling you, stop blaming celebrity endorsements for Kamala Harris's loss. We need to hear from artists now more than ever.
This is so good.
From Chris Willman. And this is something I will say, because one of the things that this person gets at is so many people are blaming these Hollywood celebrities for driving people away. I don't know if the celebrity endorsements hurt her as much as they just didn't fucking help. Right? Yeah. It's like, I don't think that if someone saw Beyonce come out and endorse Kamala, I was going to vote for her, but now I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't think we saw too much of that. But the truth is that when you're spending all of this money, when you're spending money bringing Oprah in, whether it was to pay her or her production crew or whatever, when you're spending $1 million to build a Call Her Daddy set, when you're spending $20 million on these concerts from these celebrities, it's not helping you, because people don't care about who these people tell you to vote for.
Right.
But the meltdowns we have seen from all of them, including from the media, no, we don't need to hear from artists now more than ever. No one cares what actors think. No one cares about what singers think about who you should elect for president. No one cares what 23-year-old Rachel Zegler might think about the political landscape of the world. It's pointless. People don't fucking respect them, bottom line.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe 20, 30 years ago, a celebrity endorsement might have carried some weight. With the age of social media, everyone has more information than they've ever had before. And there's not just a few different sources of information. There's more information that you can even take in on a day-to-day basis right now. We know everything that's going on with every part of the world at this point in time. And typically on social media, you're just receiving all the worst information from all around the world all day long. But you actually can, with YouTube, with Twitter, with social media, you have so much more information out there that you're doing your own research now, and celebrity endorsements don't matter. The word celebrity has never been more irrelevant at this point in time, because the more that these people talk and the more that they show you how flawed they are and how broken they are, the less that you actually care what they have to say. Now, again, that doesn't take away from the fact that they're still very good at what they do with acting and making movies and things like that. And they're very entertaining, and that's obviously a good thing. But there's no mystique around the movie star anymore. There used to be before social media. There isn't now. No one takes these people seriously in their real life. And that's a far cry from what it used to be. I mean, I don't know how many people remember from how the movie star was. You remember, Ryan, from when we were growing up, a movie star actually was something that was glamorous and there was aura around it. Not now.
And so much of it was because we didn't know a ton about them, which is what started this like paparazzi phase, right? Like that's why these things started happening, because you have these people who are so famous and so many people know them, but we didn't know a ton about what was going on with them all the time. We saw them in a couple red carpet things, and if they had something to promote, they'd come on a late night talk show, and they wouldn't talk about Donald fucking Trump, right? They would talk about their movies or stories from the entertainment industries or things like that. Now with the, obviously when social media becomes a thing and some people start using it, now we know everything about them. We know too much about them.
Way too much. It's just like any other story out of Hollywood, man. The more questions you start answering, especially questions we're not even asking, the worse it does to the story or the character. So I always bring up Heath Ledger's Joker for that. Like if Nolan comes out with like a recasting of like Ledger's Joker and he answers like how did he actually get those scars, you're gonna be like, I didn't fucking need to know. I don't need to know these answers. Leave the mystery out there. And that's one of the many reasons why the Hollywood movie star is pretty irrelevant these days. And that's why, like Tom Cruise, we talked about it recently. Tom Cruise is still a psychopath. And I mean that in a good way. Like he's jumping out of fucking planes.
Kobe Bryant, psychopath.
So yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. So because you made your joke. Didn't you make the joke? Was it you that made the joke on FNT? Who made the Kobe? Who made that Kobe joke? Somebody made a helicopter joke. Was that you on FNT?
That was in the fucking intro.
That was in the
intro.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I just applied it to you. So that was a great intro.
I just mean psychopath and Kobe, like these people who are super uber hyper competitive and are always striving to be like the best possible, the greatest possible. Yeah. Even if that means holding everybody else around them, like holding them accountable and maybe making their lives miserable at times if they're not holding up their end of the bargain. That's
Mamba mentality.
That's the type of mentality I'm talking about when it comes to a guy like Tom Cruise. But like the blame game is truly in effect, with some people blaming George Clooney somehow for this happening. Because George Clooney apparently was one of the people who wanted Biden to step down, wanted Harris to step forward, all this stuff. George Clooney devoted a ton of time and energy and fucking money to this thing. And now he's getting blamed for it. And now, I don't know if you saw this headline, Jeremy, George Clooney steps back from politics after being labeled scapegoat for Kamala Harris's defeat. George Clooney feels unfairly blamed for Kamala Harris election loss and has chosen to step back from politics.
Oh, poor baby. Clooney has been at the forefront of the political Hollywood bullshit for the past decade plus. Probably more than that, because I think he was pretty involved in the Obama administration in terms of like marketing their stuff or promoting their shit. And he's been at the forefront of this. And he's famously, as part of the old intro for Cobra Cast, but he's famously said like there's never going to be a President Trump. It's not going to happen. Just very dismissive of it.
Yeah.
He's
like Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Clooney's a piece of shit. And if you remember, he was and I'll have to remember exactly how this played out. He was pretty involved with the public perception of Joe Biden and Joe Biden stepping down. There was something where George Clooney was quoted as to say, like, he's not the same guy that we're used to. And for the good of the country, he needs to step down. This all was like leading into the dismissal of Joe Biden and the elevation of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, he was one of the people that did spoke out. Ocean's 11 actor 63 notably penned an op-ed for the New York Times in July.
There we
go. On
Biden
to abandon his presidential campaign, writing, "We're not going to win in November with this president. This isn't only my opinion. It's the opinion of every senator and Congress member and governor who I've spoken with in private." This is one of the reasons. And I think that Biden loses also, right? But
yes.
But it's just funny to see everybody turning on each other. It's great.
Mm-hmm. They're eating each other alive right now. And it's glorious. Hollywood is built off of lies and bullshit. It truly is a house of cards. Hollywood is a house of cards. And it is all falling apart right now. And because they don't actually believe in anything. And now that it's blown up in their faces, now it's just like the left typically does. They're eating each other alive. And they deserve it. Fuck Hollywood. And fuck George Clooney.
How do you like the Oceans movies, though?
I enjoyed them, but like
12.
I enjoyed them. I've never been like, I don't see George Clooney as an actor, though. I see him as George Clooney in movies. You know what I mean?
He showed up at the end of Flash.
Yes.
It's so wild, everything that's happening in DC movies, but bro, George Clooney cameo appearance at the end of Flash. Jesus.
Name a defining like acting performance from George Clooney, though.
He was in ER, and I liked him in ER.
You know, like
Michael Clayton.
The only movie that stands out to me is the Tarantino. Was it Tarantino? Dusk Till Dawn with Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Like but that really wasn't because of his acting, is more of the characterization of his character. But like he has no standout.
My favorite George Clooney role, period, is Danny Ocean in Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13. Like, that's my favorite. I just like those movies, but
yeah, but like you bring up like somebody like Brad Pitt. Like Brad Pitt's got phenomenal acting performances, you know, like
with Fight Club, Seven, you can go through like a laundry list.
You know, but like George Clooney is literally just George Clooney in like everything he's in.
Yeah, I'm not a massive Clooney guy, but I don't fucking hate him or anything like that.